Well, we're live for our Friday night meeting. Let me get this bit of business taken care of here. Let me turn that on. We gotta save the chat. Okay, hurry up. There we go. And customize it. Chat replay, save. Alrighty. Daniel Berry Sports. Yo, hey. What do we got going on here? I hear somebody in the background. What do we got there? Zoom. Oh, there we are. Yeah, okay.
How's it going, Sparky?
All right. Well, I'm getting ready to start my 2025 airplane.
What's that gonna be?
A Caramba XL,
XL, so bigger.
extra light.
Oh, okay. Foam?
No, built up.
Helium bags inside it?
Yeah. I'm gonna take 8 ounces off of it.
Hmm.
Try to be in that 50.
Did you hear from Steve today?
Yeah, what's up?
He told you what happened to Mark's airplane?
Oh yeah, that's number 4 for this year.
I pulled up and he was walking from out in the combat circle, and I'm like, that doesn't look right. Why is he out there? I didn't see what happened, but
Well, ask your cousin. He knows. He was there.
yeah, no, I mean they told me what happened. I just didn't see it. Did not see it.
Figured I'd get the skins laid up for these leading edges tonight. See here.
So it's lost foam?
Yeah.
Is that a Bob Hunt jig, or did you make your jig?
Now this come from John.
Okay.
The ones we made. The ones we made Saturday at John's.
Do you just count on the kerf from the hot wire to compensate for the thickness of wing sheeting?
No. No, you got to plan it out. You got to cut the rib templates and yeah, you just got to plan it out. So I need.
I mean, so in order to make a jig, how many foam cores are you cutting out?
Only one.
Well, then you are letting the hot wire kerf. Because if you think about it, we just presume you're going to use 16th inch sheeting. The core is what you cut up into chunks to make the templates out of for making your ribs, right?
No. Okay, look at this. Okay. This is the jig.
Right.
This is a foam wing that's not been cored. It's just,
Well, that's what when I say the core, I mean when you call it the jig. If you weren't doing lost foam, you'd be the shock, or that'd just be like the waist or whatever.
yeah.
But that's what I mean. You've answered my question. I get it. So it is the kerf of the hot wire that's approximately the thickness of your wing sheeting.
No,
I can't see in the video here. Have you coated those?
no, no, I don't do that. I just build right on it. I got about, I don't know, probably 10, 15 different wings poured up like this. Yeah, the hot wire is, 30 thousandths and the wing sheeting is 3/32. So there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, but the hot wire kind of the foam shrinks away from it in both directions normally. At least when I've cut it has.
But it doesn't, it's immaterial. You're not worried about the kerf. You're worried about the shuck here. Is the shuck accurate? You're not worried about is the shuck accurate to the template? That's what you're worried about. You're making an exact representation of the wing templates, only in balsa wood.
What's up, Gary? You're muted. Can't hear you. I see you waving.
Yeah, that's so we don't hear his mic rattling. So my wing, I think this is more wood that I'm going to need. I'm going to need 2 pieces. 17, 2 pieces for the leading edges. 17.
You do have to cut out, I guess, something extra to make the leading edge form, don't you?
Yeah, it's a separate piece.
Yeah.
16 and 15. So we got this is the wing sheeting right here. Oh shit, we got 16s here. We'll use these. 16, 16, 15. So this is the leading edge sheeting right here. I use 3/4, so that's the trailing edge sheeting. These are the wing spars. And this is enough wood to make the ribs. So this wing will be a whole lot lighter than the foam wing. I can tell you that right now. This wing will be 5.5 ounces. The whole wing. Less the tips. So it'll be a 9-ounce wing with a bell crank, flaps, all the other goodies that go on it. And I think that wing that I put in there was a 16 or 17-ounce wing. Ridiculously heavy.
Thought you might come out and fly that thing today with the nice weather.
Today was old people's payday. We had to go shopping.
Ah,
Or there won't be any eating.
gotcha.
So it's fly or eat.
Right. I could do with less eating. I need to figure out how to trick myself into that too. Less eating. Speaking of which, I got Jimmy John sandwiches coming here.
Got my Stay Bright solder today. For you guys looking for it, it's on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon.
You know, I
Cost,
guilted them into keeping that at Schaefer's now. They got a couple packs of it up there.
cost me $10.
Yeah, they want way more than that. I want to say they had it priced at like 20 something dollars.
Well, that's what it would normally cost, but I used my
Oh,
credit on that I had built up.
you got any polling places near you?
Yeah, the library
Is it super stupid crowded?
sometimes.
This one by me, I got a library off Telegraph Road. And I mean, it's a traffic jam on Telegraph every day now. Like, where are all these people coming from? I don't remember it ever being like this.
Well, this is a big election. It's the end of our country, unless a certain gentleman wins.
I mean, not in Missouri, it's not. Everybody knows what's going to happen in Missouri.
It don't matter.
It's
I
like,
also I also got a 15% off coupon from Harbor Freight, and I bought this today.
hmm,
This is a nice gun. Started out at 70 and got
yeah.
the 15% off.
Do you have a pretty big compressor, I'm guessing?
Not really.
Or a big tank, maybe?
30 gallon. That's not very big.
I don't have a big enough compressor to spray well with right now.
And I'll tell you what, them things are stuck in there. There we go. These disposable cups. We're gonna try. I bought this one today for clear only. And I have a Spectrum, the $199 one or whatever it was that I got on sale. But it puts out way too much paint. The nozzle's too big. It's 1.7.
Hmm.
Even this is a little big. This is 1.4. But I just thought I'd tell you guys, Harbor Freight's got a sale. And it's a pretty nice gun. Zeta copy. Chinese Zeta. It's basically the same as this Black Widow, except for this is high transfer efficiency. This gun here, same setup as a SATA. You know, the fans on the side here, tips, easy cleaning. Yeah, what a bummer. Mark was over the house yesterday. We drew him up a fuselage for his new airplane. Gonna build a big machi again.
Not familiar with that.
MC-72. Machi Castoli.
Hmm.
11. These are the ribs, the rib stuff here. And we should have a good light wing. Of course, there'll be an extra sheet because I gotta have cap strips. And I'll get these going.
There's a contest going on right now. It looks like called the Top Gun Challenge.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
I imagine West, based on the people I'm seeing there, West Coast people, they got a lot of contests out their way.
Well, they got a whole lot better weather than we got. I don't know if I want to use this potato chip wood. Might be, I better not.
What's potato chip wood?
Warp to hell.
Oh, a Pringles potato chip at that.
Yeah. Light, but it's warped.
Hmm.
So I'll lose a gram or gain a gram for straightness. And we make it up here.
I don't know. That's it. Scrap the whole project.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I better take you guys upstairs. I'll wait for my sandwich.
This is a 17. This is a 17. So do the 16s. Sixteens are the centerpiece. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have anybody in tonight.
Where would they be?
Top Gun Challenge. I don't know.
I don't think we got West Coast guys on here normally. Trying not to get my cousin to come on here. I know he's got Zoom. His wife does some Zoom meetings.
He lives in Sunset Hills, got a pretty nice house. Gotta have a camera. Pretty nice guy.
Yep. That's pretty much who got me into model airplanes back in the day. My mom and dad lived right across the street. His mom and my mom are sisters. My mom and dad both worked, so they'd get up and take me over there, put me in a crib at his house. I pretty much grew up at his house. And he was into all of it. Riding his bike up to Schaefer's. They didn't live very far from the city, Schaefer's, you know.
Yeah, I didn't either. Of course, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Los Angeles, but when I moved here, I moved down by Merrimack. I was on Virginia and Merrimack.
Yeah, that's pretty close to Schaefer's, just right where they were. I think
Yeah.
they at that corner.
A block away.
We were at Idaho. Off Idaho.
Get these sheets glued up and wrapped tonight, and then build that wing tomorrow, and I'll have the skins ready to go for it. I've been watching Wendy videos. Of course, I talked to Wendy the other day.
Said you guys are going to do like a collaboration or something?
Yeah. But watching him work, and I mean, kind of makes me want to strive for a concourse trophy. You know, they got to be perfect. This other one, it's not perfect. It's all right, but it's not perfect. So Carumba XL will be trying to make it a work of art.
Yeah, he won a few of them, didn't he?
I think he's won more than anybody.
7 maybe or something like that. They still wasn't the trophy for that like a propeller, a big looking full size propeller.
Yeah, I think it was Arlie Pressler or something like that. He carved wood propellers for that trophy.
Hmm. Philip Bailey.
You got to be talking about the concours.
Yeah.
Wendy's got to have a room full of those things. He won it so many times it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I think he's won it more than anybody.
Now, my question is this: did he win it because the models? Well, I know they have to take it. I take it. I get it. They got to be perfect, but it seemed to me that wasn't he kind of doing like some new, innovative type things that were different at the time too, or
Not really.
Well, he was doing some new things like the 5-blade prop and the other things, but his planes were just his paint jobs were just that much sharper. He came out in a time when the planes were nice, but he took them to another level.
like the
And
guy that won
another
this
level,
year
and
was
another
kind
level.
of
Yeah.
different, a paint on iron on and transparent and
And Wendy was a class act. I mean, he just was. He was a person when you got to know him, you either liked him or you just really didn't. But he was a class act and he was very talented. And it was like Sparky. Him and Sparky would bump heads because the two of them are both very good builders, very good painters. And I think if Wendy came back, it would be Wendy against Sparky would be one of the matches to watch because they're both just that good. And Wendy could build a plane in 60 days like Sparky does. There's not many people can build a full-size stunner and finish it and make it concours ready in 60 days, but those two can.
I'd have to say Wendy's got it up on me right now as far as the look to the airplane, but because he's willing to put the paint on, and I mean he'll put the paint on.
A lot of his stuff was 60 ounces, but it was gorgeous. You look at a Wendy paint job and it looked like you could just reach into it.
Hey, you know that dinging that's going on, Phil? Why don't you uninstall that program?
that McAfee.
I have tried. It looks like I'm going to have to go get on my little.
No. It's real easy. I tell you how to stop it right now. Go
Okay.
down to the search bar, type in add, and then add and remove programs will come up. We got to get rid of that dinging.
Apps, install apps. Okay.
Add and remove. Go to remove, and then a list will come up.
You're on Windows 11, sounds like, Phil.
All drives. I don't know. This is actually my wife's computer. I don't see an add remove, but I'm still scrolling through what's on this computer. This thing, the whole front page is full.
Go to start, and we're right at the bottom, the little square says start, and then it'll come up a search window, and you type add and remove program, or just add because it should pop up.
Yeah.
And then select the program that's dinging, which I guess is McAfee, and hit remove.
And Norton.
Norton.
Yeah.
Both on there fighting with each other.
Norton and there. I don't know what this is. Snoop Dogg fans are in tears. What, did something happen to Snoop Dogg?
No, I'm sure that's spam.
Tragedy comes to 51-year-old rapper family. He's only 51. Jiminy Christmas. I thought he was older than me.
Snoop Dogg?
Ah,
He's 53.
that's McAfee. Okay. I'm gonna change computers. If I do something to screw this thing up, she'll shoot me. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
Okay. Gotta get that dinging off. Got to get the dinging. Let's see, we'll have 4, which is, well, we'll just cut it and then I'll see what it is.
And this
Just-
stuff you're using is all 4-pound wood, you say?
Yeah, 4 pound or less.
Okay. Even for the wing ribs, huh?
I use it for everything on the airplane. I got enough to build 2 airplanes left.
Just wasn't, I know on at least some of the pictures I've seen of those lost foam wings, there's not much wing rib left when you're done. I don't know if you might have wanted something a little more stout, or if you just don't cut as many holes in it, I guess.
Well, that's why I use 3/32 as my wing parts. I don't build them out of 16th because there's no wood there.
Got you.
Move this shit out of the way. You can build it out of whatever you want, but I guess we better watch the chat tonight.
Get it, you're done. Here. What do you think you're gonna do in terms of collaborating with Wendy?
We're just gonna sit down and have a conversation.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys were gonna like do a. Well, you won't be in the same place, right? Obviously,
No, but you'll think we will be.
right? Your wife a hockey fan, Sparky?
Nope.
My cousin said she had a blue shirt on when he was over there. Thought she might be, maybe.
Well, he's dreaming. You don't own a blue shirt.
Huh? Awesome. He's probably listening right now, so he'll. Maybe it was just the same color or something.
Okay.
He got one flight in today on that new twister.
Yeah, he told me. Did you see it
Yeah.
after I repaired it? Can't even tell it was screwed up.
Yeah, you couldn't notice anything on there. I didn't see it in person when it was screwed up, but he sent me a picture.
Yep, gotta try to do a better job. I gotta try to do a windy caliber airplane. I'm even gonna paint it silver and sand the silver on it. I'll try to do a windy paint job.
He uses silver so he could see more of the surface imperfections, I'm guessing.
Yeah. The only bad thing is silver is pretty, the paint doesn't adhere well to it. It got adhesion problems.
Hmm. Didn't he used to use SIG dope?
I have used Sig Dope.
Is there a difference between that and this Randolph stuff?
Yep. It's all made by the same people. It's all consolidated coatings.
SIG gets a different formula than Randolph.
Yep.
Hmm.
Brodak dope is Randolph, but it ain't as good.
And it probably costs more.
Yeah, all dope is made by consolidated coatings.
Hmm.
I kind of even think that Aerogloss was made by it too, but because of MEK, the state of California shut the Aerogloss down. I truly loved Aerogloss. That was good stuff.
Was Pactra always the parent company for Aerogloss? Or the brand?
No, it wasn't. Testers, I think.
Hmm.
Well, Phil must have lost his way.
Yeah, I guess.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
All right.
Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you.
Is this the original Steve Smith or the real Steve Smith?
This is the new guy.
I got to know the story behind that.
Just two guys happen to live in the same town and have the same name. And when I showed up, it was just we were both just Steve Smith. It was confusing, so just kind of as a joke, I said, "Oh, I'm the real Steve Smith," and then he said, "Oh yeah, well I'm the original Steve Smith." And
So there's no animosities. It's just,
oh no.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both in the same town, both in the same club, both fly model airplanes.
Both of the name Steve Smith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds?
Both IT guys too.
What are the odds? You got colored tape. I like the colored tape.
This is the best tape you can buy.
Okay.
Is that a Rickenbacker behind you I see there, Bob, or what am I looking at?
What's that?
So is that a Rickenbacker behind you, or what am I?
Oh no, it's an Epiphone Noel Gallagher signature
Oh.
Riviera.
Gotcha. I could just kind of see a faint.
And the other side over here is my workhorse, a Taylor 516.
I thought you were gonna tell him it was a Bobenbacher. He
Uh,
builds guitar.
I've never played a Rickenbacker.
Here's the tape. It's 3M automotive masking tape. You get it on Amazon. It's about $40 for 10 rolls. So $4 a roll.
I like the color. I don't like, I tried 3M tape. I don't like it because it's too aggressive and to me, it rips up the grain. I've been using something from a place called Tape Jungle. And it's a lower tack. It does the job, but it doesn't pull up the grain in the wood. I like it better.
Can you paint, you know how we use blue fine line tape for an edge?
Yeah.
Does it work as an edge, that tape?
Well, I've never tried it. I do use the green tape, the green fine line.
Because this yellow will work as a fine line as well. It won't go around the corner, but
Yeah. Well, you can cut it probably into thinner strips and go around corners.
yeah, if you could figure out how to cut it then.
That's what Billy did for years. He had a piece of glass. He put the tape of the glass and he sliced it into sometimes 16th-inch pieces to make those scallops on his airplanes. And those were all laid out by hand. There was no measurement or templates or anything. He did it all by eye.
How's he doing?
I haven't talked to him in a little while. Went out to see him a couple of times, and he seems like he's actually doing a little better. He's on dialysis 3 days a week, so he really can't get away. And he's getting older, and with the horses and everything, it's pretty tough life, He's got like 12, 13 horses, and he's got goats, and he's got chickens, and he's got pigs, he's got dogs, he's got a wife.
Has he got that field behind his house there?
Yeah, he does. As a matter of fact, when I was out there, actually what happened was, I don't know if you want to hear the story or not, but FAI had a Legends Award
Yeah,
for people who had won 3 world championships in any discipline. And of course, he and Les both won 3 from our country. And they had this huge awards banquet for all of FAI, not just the model airplanes, but full-size airplanes too. The hang gliding and aerobatics and all the stuff. It was at the Rotunda in Dayton. It's a beautiful room. A couple $100 a plate, black tie affair, and well, not black tie, but business suit affair. And Les McDonald called me and he said, "Bobby," he said, I can't make it because I'm going to have surgery. He's had some problems. He's all right. But he said, if you'll go pick up Billy and take him down and pick up my award for me, accept my award for me, he said, I'll pay for the whole thing. How can you turn down a deal like that? So he did. He paid for the whole routine. I went out to Billy's and we went down, spent about 5 hours at the Air Force Museum. And it took me about an hour and a half of that to tear him away from the P-47. And then we went to the dinner that night, and we couldn't even stay overnight. Had to get back to his house because he had dialysis the next morning. So he was in good shape. But when I got back there, he gave me the white Junar. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. And he wants me to convert it to electric for him. So it's downstairs. And no, I haven't started converting it yet.
yeah.
Winter's coming. But yeah, he does have a field behind his house now.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it. It was underway then. He didn't have it really flyable at the time.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know,
Well, he had some trouble with the contractor who was supposed to do it. The guy kind of ripped him off a little bit. And I guess he had some friends come in and help him get it done. So it's flyable now. But I don't know how much he's going to get to fly. He's pretty beat up from the horses. He's not a big guy. And the horses have kind of beat him up and broke a lot of bones and tendons and all kinds of stuff, So
Who are we talking about?
Hmm?
Who are you talking about?
Billy.
Billy's busted up?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's had broken fingers and broken snapped tendons and all kinds. The horses have just done a job on him.
Oh, Lord. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's all right, though. I mean, Billy, he's tough.
What's that doing to his ability to play music?
But well, it has affected his facility a little bit. Although, you know, again, he fights through it.
The last time I saw
bless
Billy play, the last time I saw Billy, that night, one of the nights I was there at the Nats, somebody handed him a guitar and he didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, we jammed. Well, actually, we jammed together for a whole day out there. Well, went out twice. You know, that time a couple of years ago, 2 years. Well, not this past year, but
I think it's
yeah.
been 3 years, 3 or 4
I was
years.
supposed to go to VSC with Jim Vortholt. You know that story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Steve probably doesn't know that story, but Jim Vortholt called me in October of 2 years ago, and he said, "I want to go to VSC." He said that's on my bucket list, and he can't fly, but he wanted to go out and see it. I said, "Boy, I'd love to make that trip." He says, "Yeah, well, why don't you come out? We'll go on my new Honda, whatever the top of the line Honda big thing is." And I said, "Okay." So I started building a Caprice. I built two of them. So I had two Caprices and that Usama I've had for a while. And when the time came, I hopped in the car, and I'm stubborn. I'm not a cell phone guy, and I keep it in the car and keep it off in case I have an emergency. Well, on the way out, I drove 700 miles to his house, got there about midnight, and I walked in. He was in a boot with a walker in front of him. And I said, "What happened?" Well, while I was on the road, he was getting ready to go, getting all his clothes out and everything. He looked on the floor, and the floor was covered with blood. He's got a disease called Sharg's foot, which is very, very rare. And it makes the bones in your feet disintegrate. And one of the bones poked through the bottom of his foot and was bleeding all over the floor. So when I got there, you know, I was thinking, well, you know, I'm a quarter of the way there. I may just drive down myself. And then reality set in the next morning. I said, that's stupid. So I went back and stayed at Billy's house for a couple of days, and we played guitar and hung out, and then I came home. So I logged 1,400 miles not going to VSC.
Good grief. Yeah. Sometimes the magic works and sometimes nothing works.
Where you are is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you again, Bob. Hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, well, it's better to be seen than viewed.
That's my saying. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
After all the joy we went through in this past March and April, I'm just glad to be seen and not viewed.
How about it?
How are you, John?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Good deal.
Good to
Got
see
Bob
everybody.
here and we got Santa Claus here. This is going to be a good night, guys.
You
I
did know,
got
you did know, Bob, that John Jordan passed away, didn't you?
Yeah, I heard. Sorry. I think I made a comment on that on Stunt Hangar. I'm not sure. Sorry to see that. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
There's a lot of that going around right now.
Yeah, too many. The problem with getting old and having a lot of friends is you go to a lot of funerals.
Yeah.
I took a fall 2 weeks ago, cracked my tailbone, so
Oh,
Shit.
yeah. It's starting to feel a little bit better, but yeah.
You've taken a lot of falls, dude.
Well, not so much falls, other stupid things.
Well, the falling off the roof of your house wasn't exactly, you know.
He was
Well, I
trying to
didn't
play
fall off the
Santa
house.
Claus.
I fell off the house on purpose to get away from the electricity.
Well,
Oh, yeah, that'll do
it
it.
still counts as a fall, whether you did it on purpose or not.
Hey, before we go, Bob, I wanna show you the new twin.
Am I leaving? I didn't know I was leaving. Okay.
Oh, well, I want to show you the new twin I've been working on and get you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, is that okay with everybody? Most
Sure.
everybody
Yeah.
here's seen it.
You bet.
Yeah, I'm sure Buddy's watching, so he'll be glad to see it because he loves that plane.
Who's that?
Can you turn the
But-
sharing on
I'm
there?
working on it. Give me a second.
All right,
Okay, go ahead.
all right, thanks.
Wow.
What do you think?
Back to the Future.
I don't know the effectiveness of a tandem twin. That's my question for you. I know Dean Pappas would probably answer that for us.
Well, there's good and bad about them, I guess. Who was the guy that had the first one? Richard Loomis, right? He had the
Yeah.
two. at the Nats in what, 67, wasn't it? And
Yeah, I had a pair of Fox 35s on it, I
he took
believe.
first in senior stunt that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and what's his name? Bob Harness had one too.
Did he? I didn't know
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah. Big airplane, huge airplane, immense airplane.
This one won't be that big because I'm planning on using the same motors you're using, the 2310s.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I've got your phone number. I'll call you sometime here in the near future to get what you're running for battery and props and stuff like that on yours.
Yeah, we'll take care of that later. Yeah. Well, I don't have any experience with push-pull twins, so I can't really comment on it intelligently. I could comment on very few things intelligently, but
I know, me
but
too.
the one thing that because I've thought about it, but the one thing it doesn't give you is the double the disc span.
That's what I'm figuring out. Yeah.
It doesn't give you that because if you put them out, if you have two, let's say nominally 10-inch props on an airplane, you got 20 inches of disc span.
Thank you.
And
Right.
one of the advantages of a twin, a normal configuration twin, is the fact that none of that airflow is going around the fuselage, causing spiral airflow effect or drag, or hitting the vertical fin, on the left side, causing a weather vane yaw towards the end. Essentially it causes a left yaw and a right roll. It eliminates all that when you put the motors out on the wing.
Right.
And then, of course, you counter rotate them and it gets rid of all the P factor and everything else. I mean, there's no rotational spiral airflow effect. There's no drag on the fuselage. And you have all that disc span and disc area to slow it up coming downhill. You could order a pizza and eat it when these things are doing a wing over.
Well, I agree with you on all that you said, and I tried to, in laying this out, of course, it's got twin booms so that the spiral airflow should
Yeah, it
be,
shouldn't be as much of an effect.
and also the fuselage is basically quite round,
Mm-hmm.
and they will be counter rotating, but of course the only way that really affects is on a stabilizer and elevator, because that's everything else is in a possible spiral airflow until it hits that rear prop.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it works out, John.
Well, thank you. I'm willing to go that route. I don't think I don't know. I just don't know, and I'm trying to gather as much possible information as possible. I agree with you that it doesn't have the what you call wetted area on the double the prop span.
Artificial air blast, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know the cumulative effects. Counter rotating props closer together seem to work, but
You're contra rotating.
Yeah, contra rotating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is something I've been working on, and
We got nothing else to do, right? We might as well experiment.
Hey, yeah.
But remember what Bob Barron always said:
What's that?
pioneers always end up with arrows in their heads.
Yeah,
I got a quiver of them I pulled out of my head over the years,
I forgot about that. Okay, well, anyway, it's
Yeah, it's pretty.
pretty.
Is the tail higher than normal?
No, the tail is not higher than normal.
Looks like it's more of a differential between the wing and motor center lines than the tail center lines than normal.
It's actually set up so that with the flap horn, which of course is in line with the booms, the flap horn to the elevator horn where I want to run it is a straight line.
Well, that's beneficial for sure. But have you thought about inline?
Explain, please.
Everything inline, the motor, the wing, and the tail.
Oh, I've thought about it. I've thought about that. Yes.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I've thought about inline, and I'm not sure. I want to try this configuration on the first one. And if I don't like it, then I'll try the inline. The inline introduces so much because to get the
Oh, excuse me.
corrected geometry on it, you have to have the back end tilted back and the elevator tilted forward, and to get that proper geometrical relationship.
And unless you go to I have a new control system I may have told you about that they're going to have dead straight runs on an inline airplane. It'd be dead straight push rod runs on both the elevator and the flap.
What are you doing? Running off the top and bottom of the wing?
Yep, putting outputs of making the belt crank rotate. It's going to mount to a tube, heavy, thick wall tube that rotates, and then above the wing there'll be an output that has an adjuster, so you can adjust the ratio at the belt crank end, and it'll go straight back to a control horn that's coming up off the elevator, and you can adjust the ratio and you can adjust the length of the push rod right there, and then on the bottom there's going to be another one that'll go straight back to the flap. And that will have the air outlet hole right over it. So adjustment, you don't have to have a hatch. You just go in there and adjust it through the air outlet hole.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd like to see more on it. That kind of reminds me of that Australian fellow's setup where he had everything coming out the bottom here, and he had a hatch under here, and he had a T-bar go across. It was adjustable, had slots in it to adjust the amount of throw. And one went to the flap and the other one went back to the elevator.
Yeah.
He's able to adjust the ratios to everything right there.
The other thing I want to do with this is build a built-up wing. And I already have one built. And I didn't think it was going to work, but I was able to make it work. I want to put a tube in the aft end of the wing, a carbon, like very thin wall carbon tube, and run it out maybe not quite 2/3 of the way in each wing, and put a bushing on it so it'll rotate nice and smooth. And attach a horn to that in the center, which will drive off the belt crank and turn the tube. And then have droppers come out just like the RC pattern guys do, because I flew RC pattern for a lot of years, and have the actuating control horn in the center of the aileron, in our case, in the radio, or in the flap, has the torsional load, because you're driving your flaps from one end and you get a torsional load on the flap. And if you drive them from the center, it has that torsional load. So, and then you could also be able to adjust the ratios and you do flap tweaks if you need to, all from outside the airplane.
Well, we're thinking along the same lines here, only I went a little bit different. I'm running, this is showing a standard belt crank, but what I'm running on here is a belt crank that will have a connection point right here on the aft end.
You have twin booms. You got to be able to drive two push rods.
That's right. It's going to come out here to an L crank. The L crank will then drive the flap here at the center.
90-degree belt crank.
Yeah, right.
That's
Same on the other.
We used to do it in RC airplanes before we had the ability to put micro servos out that far.
Right, exactly. And since we can't do that with control line stunt, I decided I better stay with 90-degree belt crank. I call them L cranks, but and then I've driven off of that. Of course, we'll go back. Now you notice I've got here's where the drop is for the elevator horn, and it's actually outside. It comes out, so I don't have to have a box or anything there to get in. I can adjust it quite easily. It's just underneath there. So, but yeah, we're thinking along the same. Well, I'd say my internet connection is unstable. Oh. Well, anyway, yeah, we're thinking along the same line.
Both of us better get ready to pull a lot of arrows out of our heads.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get your thoughts on it, and if you're talking to Dean Pappas, just ask him what he thinks of me.
Yeah.
If he comes up with anything different, let me know. I appreciate it.
Well, he's 100% behind the twins the way we're doing them now, and
yes,
but he's also got some weird. I mean, everything he does is in another. Like he's got 55 IQ, and he makes everybody around him feel like amoebas. So
yeah,
got some strange ideas, but
they're based on solid principles.
Well, he's got one of his degrees is in aerodynamics, so
Yeah.
one of his
So,
many degrees.
I know as you probably well know, I'm a big proponent of standard twins, but I had to try something different.
Yeah. Hey, listen, what else we got to do?
I did, in my studies, I did come across the information way back in the early days of aviation. Shorts in England was working on aircraft that were tractor push-me-pull-me's, and they found that the aft prop lost 87%, or went down to 87% efficiency
Mhm,
compared to the front prop.
mhm.
And so then they decided, one of the things they decided, probably the most successful one they had twins mounted side by side on the front and a tractor in the back. So they're running 3 props. And that might be something to think about.
Well, one of the guys I was talking to who's, I don't know what he flies nowadays. He used to fly pattern when I did, but he said, I showed him pictures of your plane and he said, run the back prop with more pitch.
Yep, that's what I'm figuring to do.
Gain some
It needs
efficiency.
it's meeting an accelerated airflow.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
already in an accelerated airflow. So I said, so you mean run a 5 pitch on the front and a 6 on the back? He said, no, if you're going to 5 on the front, run a 7 on the back.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I
The only
figured
other
it out.
problem, the only other problem that configuration has, and it caused a problem apparently for Loomis and for Harness, is when you rotate, the back prop gets very close to the ground. You got to make a flat takeoff, or you can hit the prop unless you have very long landing gear. Then you have a moment of inertia you really don't want.
Well, yeah, I set it up so that the plane cannot, it'll drag that stuff in before it hits the prop.
How long are your landing gear?
They're not that long. They're a little longer, but not that much longer.
That's one of the nice things about the other twins is that you can have 20 inches of disc span and very short landing gear because they only have a 10-inch prop.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's another huge advantage, has a real short landing gear.
Well, I think I've got it set up for a 9-inch prop, to clear 9-inch prop, and I've got an inch and a half clearance on the 9-inch prop.
Yeah.
Hey Bob, were you there the year that guy flew? It's a really weird looking thing. It had like 5 wings and 4 engines.
Yeah, Jim Sumner.
People laughed at that, but that thing didn't fly half bad.
Everything he ever built flew good.
I saw him do an outside loop below the hard deck. He went off circle 1, one engine quit or whatever, and he couldn't get it over or whatever. He went off the end of circle 1 and did a loop, an outside loop under the deck, under the ground.
Did a wing under. He's a really great guy, but it's a tough commute and every day from Mars for him.
Wow.
But if you guys would have seen this airplane, you go, well, this thing's never going to work. All it was made out of was arrow shafts.
Yeah.
And this thing ain't going to work. But it didn't fly bad at all. Had a hell of a
everything he's from the East Coast, and everything he shows up. He used to show up a lot of contests, and everybody would laugh. But then they wouldn't laugh when he flew because the airplane flew very, very well.
Yeah, he probably had a lot of arrows sticking out of his head and back too.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's way out of the box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way out.
Did you by any chance get to ask Billy about that barnstormer?
No.
Okay.
What was the other guy that was pretty far out of the box? Rich Porter. Remember Rich Porter?
Oh, Rich Porter. Yeah, ridiculous Rich.
Yeah. He was a Bob Barron, Bill Nutsy band type,
Yeah. He had a half-ace stunner that flew on what, 60-foot lines or
60-foot line. Yep. I saw it fly in 76. He flew it after the Nats that year. We were all out there hanging out. He flew that airplane. It was amazing.
Did you ever see Bob Barron fly his Bear, which was a half-A airplane?
Yes.
The thing flew so darn fast.
He flew it in the Nationals after he crashed an airplane.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had a wing explode on his A airplane. They got the Bear out and he flew it in competition. That was a backup airplane.
I saw it fly here at Hobby Park one time. and he flew, or maybe it was in Atlanta. I remember seeing it fly one time live, and it flew so darn fast. I turned around to Tom Dixon. I said, I'm glad I'm not judging him.
Remember how long the nose moment was on that thing?
Yeah, it was huge.
It was really long.
Did you get to see his 40 size not humbug, what do you call it?
Navani?
No. It was non-flapped.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm trying to think of the name.
Oh, the humbug.
Yeah, no, this was another name he had for it.
Yeah.
I forgot the name, but we used to call it the dustpan. It looked like a big dustpan, you know.
Well, I've got his humbug, but it's
He flew that thing at the 92 Nationals up in Chicopee.
yeah.
I have if I can ever find them again, they're in my pile of plans. I have the plans for that thing. McCoy 40 he had on it.
Yeah.
He was original, no doubt about it. You know, I flew against him every week when I was a kid. He lived up in Ossining, New York, and I lived just across the river in Jersey. And it was contests every week then. So I flew against him every week.
Well, he is intense. He was intense, that's for sure.
He was an
He
engineer.
definitely was. The two most, Bob, who are the two most intense flyers you've ever
Jimmy
flown?
Casale and Bob Barron.
Who?
Jimmy
Casale.
Casale.
Well, I never knew Jimmy Casale, but I would
Gene
have to
Schaefer
say,
was pretty intense too.
I'd have to say Bob Barron and now I forgot his name, but he flew it. He was lived in Tucson, flew the Shark 35 years ago.
Bob Whiteley.
Bob Whiteley.
Yeah.
Those two were intense.
Gene Schaefer was too.
Yeah, I never got to know Gene Schaefer. I wish I had. Never did.
I remember seeing a film of Cassell flying, and it was on just him. It was on his airplane. It was in him in a circle. Holy smokes, that guy had a different style of
A
flying.
lot of energy expended on a flight, weren't there?
Oh my goodness, it was a
We flew
damn.
together, you know, he built, you know, he was my best customer, you know, he would crash a lot. He had 70 airplanes he put in, and he would build airplanes like 2 or 3 at a time. And he was one of my best customers, you know. I need another wing. You know?
Wow. I remember going to Atlanta and going to see Randy, and there was a box of Tiger 60s down there. These are Jimmy's. I said, Jimmy Casals? Because Jimmy had just won the Nationals. He said, yeah, Jimmy crashes a bit.
He does.
Good gracious.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
He doesn't. It's kind of equal opportunity crasher. He doesn't always crash into the ground. Sometimes it's fences. Sometimes it's trees. You know, he's crashed into a lot of different things in his lifetime. I just talked to Jimmy not too long back. He's thinking about coming back.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Hope he does.
Yeah.
He had a very neat looking airplane, the Spectrum.
Glenn Medder's coming back.
Glenn's
how
coming back? That'd be
neat.
cool.
Get the old gang back together. You know?
Yeah.
I would love to see. I'd travel out to the Nats just to see Casal fly in person. Just, you know, I wouldn't be watching his airplane, I'd be watching him. He was a show unto himself.
He really was. You know, Jimmy was good. He was a lot of fun.
I like to watch Joe fly when it's windy. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good sight to see too. He dances all over the plane.
Yeah.
Place.
A lot of individuality in this event. You know,
Yeah.
good. It's good.
I had 2 of Jimmy's Spectrums. They flew pretty well.
Yeah.
They were light too, 60 ounce. I mean, not bad.
What's like for that airplane? That's a big airplane. It's a Pattern Master size airplane. If you guys never got to see one,
What's that?
Jimmy Casal's Spectrum.
No, the Spectrums were Genesis. They were Genesis wings.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not, because I cut them.
I
It was right off the airfoil.
kind of thought so. I didn't think they were that.
Wow.
big.
I thought that- I always-
Now, when you got to the Spectron Columbias, they were a little bigger, but not the size of a
Well,
pattern.
that's the one I saw. The Columbia had.
And he never flew anything the size of a Pattern Master.
Wow, they always told me they were huge airplanes. I
The
didn't.
amount he crashed, he couldn't afford that much balsa.
But I was told that his planes didn't fly that well. He practiced one until he practiced it into submission. He learned the airplane and then could fly it.
He was something. He really was. I'd like to see him back again. He was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun together.
You're going to have to come out of retirement if he comes back.
No, well, no, I'm done. As far as nationals, I'm done. I'll fly local contests when my back and legs are up to it, but that's where I flew my last national flight this year. And I felt good because I bookended it. I flew the first nationals with the Genesis, and I flew the last nationals with the Genesis.
Hey, there you go.
Felt good.
Well, now you can become an elder statesman like now.
Elder statesman, kind of a euphemism for old fart.
Yeah, it is, you know.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, Ted Fancher, yeah,
Yeah, that's okay. I can accept that.
yeah.
That
I don't
sounds
think I
bad,
quit.
but
Don't get me wrong. I'm still developing new airplanes and new designs and helping
Yeah.
people and all that stuff. And I'll fly local contests and I'll get stuff developed for my son. He's coming back to fly. So
Well,
I'm
he's
not.
got to use up all that wood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All that wood, he calls it his inheritance.
yeah. I tell you what, if any of y'all hear about somebody that has a set of plans, it's a CD to Tom Morris's P-51 Mustang. I'd
Mhm.
sure like to have one because
I
this is,
think Tim Stagg has one, doesn't he?
I don't know, but if he does, I'd sure like to have a copy of the
Yeah.
instructions. The plans came on CD and mine is blank.
Well, you built enough airplanes. You know how to build an airplane.
I know how to build it, but I would like to have the instructions anyway.
We're men. We don't need instructions.
Yeah, we don't need these stinking plans.
If all else fails, read the instructions.
We're men. We don't ask for directions or anything. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I still remember when somebody brings something like that up. I still remember, I think it's the Nobler plans. If it's not, it's the CL3 Chipmunk. Comes with a little cartoon down in the corner that Schultz wrote. And it's a guy standing there at the table, and on the table, draped over the table, has got a set of plans that says model airplane, and he's holding a boat. It says,
Yeah, I remember that.
Charles didn't look at the plans, didn't read.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I always remember that.
Oh, shoot. That's how I got my first Nobler. I was like 16 years old, 17, somewhere in that. First year they came out, 57.
Yeah,
And they were $12 for the kit. And of course I you know, I had a paper route. That's all money. I make $3.50 a month, you know, delivering papers. And so my budget was extremely limited. And one Christmas, one of my best friends, flying group we were in, his mom and dad, who were pretty well off, bought him a Nobler kit,
mhm.
brand new, like I say. And he started it, and he quickly realized that this kit was way above his building skills, you know. And so he sold it to me for $5. And that's how I got my first
We
Nobler.
can have for wages, and you had yourself an old one.
That's right.
And my first one was $14.95 at George's Hobby Shop downtown Winston. And
I'll tell you what, I flew that Nobler for years. I had a McCoy 35 on it, and Dick Williams taught me how to run that engine to make it last. And you know what kind of fuel to use and all of that. And of course, he was right in there with Southwick and with Dick McCoy, and so you know it was, you know, it was good information. And I ran it the first time he set that throttle for me and said, "Now go out and fly it." And I thought that'll never get off the ground. He said, "Yes, it will." And there it is, blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, it got off the ground. And I realized, you know, he says, well, do something. You know, I was afraid to do anything. I was afraid to fall out of the sky. I pointed that nose up and it kicked into that from 4-stroke to 2-stroke. And up it went. And I said, holy smokes. After that, I don't think I touched that needle valve for half a year.
yeah, I was lucky. A fella that Bob probably remembers, Red Gunning, used to live close to us, and he took my McCoy, and I said, I'm afraid my engine's about shot. He said, well, let me have it. So I just took it out of the plane and sent it home to Red. I didn't know what he's going to do. I didn't know him very well, but the next week he handed it back to me. He said, go run it. I've already broke it in.
Hmm.
I mean, broke it in. It's about wore out. He said, just go put it in the plane.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, we didn't run mufflers. So I went and put it back in the plane and fired the thing up, and it about tore my finger off when it snapped one good time, and finally got it started, pulled it through again, and it started. And it started with such authority, I turned around to Red and said, "What the heck did you do to this thing?" He said, "I chromed a cylinder and I fly it." Yes, sir. So I went and flew it. But Red was famous for, he built a 4-engine scale airplane. I can't remember what it is, and it tears me up that I can't remember. But anyway, it was a 4-engine airplane, but it only had one McCoy 35 or 40, and I don't know what it was. But it was in the middle of the fuselage, and it had a belt that ran all 4 propellers on a system like, it looked like a sewing machine belt, a round belt on little pulleys.
Wow.
No, he won the Nats with it.
Wow.
He was very proud of that airplane. It hung in his basement. As far as I know, as long as I can remember going over there, that was hanging there. And Red was
Could
just,
you actually call that a multi-engine airplane or just a
I
multi-prop?
don't know what they called it, but it was,
It's a multi.
but Red was, see, I'd never been to the Nats back then. Oh, my closest,
Multi-belts. A
the
multi-belted
closest I got
airplane.
to the Nationals in those days was reading the magazines in the school library of Bob and Billy Werbridge and some of those guys.
Wait a minute. When you were a kid, you were reading magazines about me and Billy?
I remember reading about Billy
That makes me feel old.
with his Aries, when I was in the 5th grade.
Wow.
What,
And you didn't come much after that.
Yeah, a little
what I
bit.
liked about Billy is he was only a year older than me, you know, and he proved it, that somebody my age could win the Nats.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'm almost 70. I don't know how old Bob is. I don't know how old Billy is.
I turned 77 last Sunday.
Well, happy birthday, little lady.
Happy
Congratulations.
birthday.
It's a number.
Yeah, happy birthday.
It's a big
That's
number.
just a number, and mine's going to be unlisted after I hit 70.
Big number, but it's a number.
Yeah, but it's I mean, some of those guys, I'm tickled with it because it just proves to me that I don't have to give up yet. Tom Looper, I can't believe he's 13 years older than I am, and we're going flying in the morning, going to Reidsville in the morning to fly.
Outstanding.
Jokes are meeting at a fella's house and going flying in the morning. Tommy never guesses as old as he is. I still think of him as being in his 40s.
Can we do me a favor? Let's not talk about age anymore.
Okay.
What's the matter, Bob?
I tell you what, I love some of the old designs. If I had to give up flying one class, I'd give up modern and just fly classic.
Yeah, me too. I like those old airplanes better. I really did.
I do too.
I have a new Caprice that flies almost better than anything I have, you know.
The only thing in the new stuff that I'm really interested in, and I don't have one yet, is an electric twin. And I want one. I'm drawing one up, but
yeah,
I don't know what we're going to call it because the initial name was to be a double cross, and there's already somebody beat me to that name, and I can't get a copy of his plans to build.
we were out flying the double cross last weekend, not this past weekend, the weekend before.
How'd it do?
Yeah, he's got it flying pretty good. It took him a little while to get it all trimmed out, but it's a little heavier than it should be. And we put some trip tape on it, and we put some different props on it, and you set the motors a little bit different, and it runs good. It flies good. It's not as light as it should be. He's another one of the painters that puts a lot. You know, he does Barrett Jackson level restorations on cars. You know, $200,000 restorations, and he thinks he's painting a fender of a Ford. He's probably watching now, and he's going to call me up and get mad at me. But he's learning not to do it. He's learning to make paint.
I know who you're talking about. And he does some beautiful paint jobs, even on his models.
Yeah.
Because I saw his plane at the Nats, his classic, and it was
He did
beautiful.
a Corvette that was unbelievable, and a GTO. He had so many cars. You know, he has that rotisserie where they pull the bodies off and put it on the rotisserie and spin it around and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Really amazing. So we use his spray booth to shoot our airplanes.
Real quick here, I forgot to tell you, Bob, what the name of that tandem twin is. It's 2 for the show.
2 for the show. Yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah. It's better than Mixmaster. That's already taken.
I mean, you could come up with all kinds of names, you know, like get into Motown, It Takes Two, you know.
Yeah.
Bob, when are you going to incorporate the newest ideas into your new twin?
Actually, I have 3 wings, tails, crutches, shells ready for the new control system. I built myself into a corner. I built them so I can't put a standard control system in them. So I forced myself into a corner. And Danny Winchett has offered to help me make some of the parts that I need to do it lightly and correctly.
Yeah, but when are you going to build the motors that tilt?
Well, oh, funny you should say we were putting one in an airplane today. The vector thrust, yeah, we were putting Tom Huff was putting one in one of his profiles to test it out. Yeah, I've flown them. They're amazing. They don't really make the airplane turn that much quicker, but what they do make the airplane do is transition in round maneuvers easier. You can kiss the intersection absolutely perfectly. There's no hanging on because of all that flap, and it really makes the airplane transition at the point.
Do you get rid of the flap?
I'm sorry?
Do you get rid of the flap then?
No, we're still using flaps, but and you're only using 10 degrees up and 10 degrees down, which actually is significant.
Yeah.
And it works great, you know.
Let's drag.
Rick Huff had it in both of his twins.
That Australian guy that I mentioned earlier, in his test, he come out and he says that we really don't need much more than 7 degrees of flap to fly.
Well, it kind of depends on the weight of the airplane.
I'm sure it does, yes.
You know, and you can get if you fly like I do, and we fly in the spring, and then we fly in the summer, and we fly in the fall. You got to change your ratios because in the spring your airplanes have too much performance. I mean, you get away with so little flap compared to elevator because of the density altitude, so low. You got so much air in the air, and when you get into 90, 100-degree days with 97% humidity, you need more flap to make the airplane fly. There's just no air in the air.
Well, all the Aryans have leaked out or flown away.
Yes,
that's remember the article about the Aryans, your airplane has, when you build it, has so many Aryans in it. And when you use all the Aryans up, the airplane doesn't fly anymore and crashes.
Yeah, that density altitude is something people don't think about, but that's why we have to spike our fuel when we're using IC motors. Electric's a little more fun.
It's hard to fly below the air.
I've been spiking my electricity too.
Okay, to explain. That's a good trick. One of our guys has a pot on the side of his plane. He just turns it up a couple hundred RPM or down a couple hundred. Yeah. That's pretty neat. But I'm using I don't have my new Igors yet, so I'm using climb and dives. And you just walk up to it and everybody thinks I'm on my telephone and I'm actually adjusting the new.
They work good. They work all right.
Yeah. The new timer is not ESC's timer.
I'm using the Fiorati right now, but I'm going to switch over to this new Igor timer that has a better twin function than the initial ones did, I think. The Fiorati was very easy to set up for a twin.
Well, I haven't got any word on the price of it yet or the availability, but he said get in touch with him the end of October or 1st of November. It's 1st of November, so I'm gonna give him I'm gonna get in touch with him on Facebook here in the next.
My son Robbie, he corresponds with them quite often, so he's gonna know when they're available.
Well, how about when you hear they're available, let me know so I can call and ask him how to send the money and how to do it, because I want 2 of them.
Yeah, there's only one hobby, spending money.
That's it. You are absolutely right. Somebody don't believe it, just join the hobbies. I don't have hobbies though, Bob. I don't have a single hobby, but I have a couple of obsessions that are wearing me out.
The best second hobby is earning the money first.
Well, I did that for 40 years. Now it's time to relax and enjoy a little bit.
That way you got more money to spend.
Yeah. I tell you what, the secret to the whole thing is work a job you don't mind or one that you like, and have a wife that's smart enough to save money, to put the money away. Because I should have sense.
Amen.
But she was smart enough to invest and put money away. And guess what? I don't have to worry about, do I have enough money to eat supper tomorrow night?
Yeah.
I'm so happy. My wife is a whole lot. The older I get, the smarter my wife gets.
Mark Weiss is joining us.
Cool.
Hi, Mark. Are you there?
Hello, Mark.
He'll be there in a minute.
All right.
I was working on Mark's airplane today.
Take some time for the tubes to connect.
There he is. He's coming in now, I think. There he is.
By George, it's a Mark.
Mark.
Sir Weiss, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I see my father right below me, Mr. Hunt.
I was working on your airplane today. Your tail is in, your wing is in. Tomorrow I'll have the fin and rotor on.
You're like a mother robin to me.
Oh, Lord.
What do you want to eat when you come up?
Worms.
You missed my birthday dinner. My wife made Yankee pot roast and mashed potatoes and gravy and carrots and baked an apple pie. It was great.
Oh, Lord. Bob,
Ever trying to get the
do
candles out of an
North
apple
Carolina
pie?
ain't that far.
Well, I can't complain. The grits she makes are just delicious. She's a good cook. So is this 77, Bob?
77.
37. Okay.
77. Yeah, I wish it was 37. 77.
I do mine in dog years.
Oh,
I'm
no,
11
no
years,
joke
50
because
years.
of that, and I'm not going to tell it. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh man.
Dog years. No, Mark, don't ever admit that. Oh,
No.
Lord.
I do want to thank the real Steve Smith for sending a really good email about what we talked about maybe a week ago. I'm not sure when it was.
That's the original Steve Smith. Wait, the real Steve Smith is here. But you didn't send him a letter, did you, Steve?
I did indeed.
Oh, you
Yeah, it
did.
was. Oh yeah, yeah. He's the real Steve Smith. The other's an imposter.
I don't mean to imply that.
So, I did respond finally, Steve. Matter of fact, I did it maybe a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
Okay. But I really appreciate you took the time and a lot of good thoughts about what we were talking about was how to attract more people into control line flying. A bunch of you, I think, were on that call anyway, and Steve was good enough to write really a good piece. So
You want to get more young guys into flying stunt? Get more young girls into flying stunt.
There you go.
see, I knew Steve missed something.
What was her name back then?
Dawn Cosmila.
Yeah, Don Cosmilla, sweetheart of the airway.
She was a nice girl. She was very friendly, gregarious, and outgoing. She was one of the guys. She really was.
And half of them were still in love with him at this age.
You think that they're kidding about get the guys in because the girls in? Project Healing Waters, a fly fishing group I'm in. We've got a young lady that has come in, and she's a good fly tyer, don't get me wrong. But every time we go out to fish, if she goes with us, we pick up at least one member every dadgum time. She's amazing.
There's the key, huh? We've
Yeah.
been missing it all this time. Mark, you taking notes?
Yeah, I'm taking notes. All right.
I take pictures.
Taking names and notes? Oh, okay.
There you go. There's Dawn.
There she
I
is.
remember her.
Oh, there we go. Oh, she is nice.
She was a sweetheart.
That was in our basement. We had a
Wow,
barbecue. Had a barbecue after one of the contests in the East Coast, and everybody came up to the house, and my dad took pictures of everybody's airplane.
Is she still around, Bob?
Yeah, I talked to her not too many moons back. She's a grandmother living in Florida, has no interest in airplanes, so.
Wow.
That's a shame.
Huh.
Oops, what am I doing here?
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm a little bit late getting on here.
Well, we just about ran out of lies, so we're glad you showed
Yeah.
up. We got a new set we can use now.
Mark, you know the rules. You come in here for a little fun and fellowship, you get talked down to and made fun of. So you're right at home.
That's how you know we like you if we bust your chops.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you must love me.
Yeah,
A lot, Mark. A lot.
I never bust your chops.
No, you don't. You serve me chops, but you don't bust my chops.
That's right. I singe your eyebrows, but other than that.
That you have. That you have.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Gave a little flavor to those burgers though, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was quite a dish, burgers and lash.
We're gonna have hot dogs with probably
Yeah.
the hash tomorrow. I mean, I don't know, but
So I know a bunch of
Probably-
guys are in Vegas right now,
Yeah.
and that's a good city for anything. It's not my style, but I understand the appeal.
I can't. I just can't. I'd go out there and I'm afraid. I never gamble. It's like drinking. I don't gamble and I don't drink, and I don't drink because I'm afraid I'd acquire the taste, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't gamble because I'm afraid I'd enjoy it, because I'm serious. I don't have hobbies. I have obsessions, and I'm afraid I'd get into it and
Yeah.
be the end of it. So if you know you're obsessive compulsive or whatever, just don't do it, and then you don't have to worry about quitting.
Right.
That's true. Now, my visits to Vegas, I just get tired of being hit on by 85-year-old prostitutes.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta push them in the wheelchair, and
yeah.
it's exhausting.
It's a tough life.
Actually, I've never been there, so and I
I've
probably
never been there either. I've been to Reno, but I've never been to Vegas.
no.
The only problem with this whole thing is Stewart won't shut up. He's just yada 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 all the time. He won't be quiet.
Yeah.
I
it's
know.
hard.
Stuart, enough's enough.
I think he's going to say something.
Still can't get him to say anything. Come on.
Silence is the best way to go sometimes.
There you go.
Silence is golden.
I got to meet you at the Nationals for the first time.
It's better to have everybody think you're an idiot than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Yeah.
Let me get to the chats on YouTube. guys.
The first time I actually got to meet Stuart, I've been reading about this new lens for Nikon camera, which mine's right there.
Hello, is this thing working?
And
Yeah.
here comes Stuart walking up, and he's carrying the very lens I've been looking at. And I watch him use the thing, and I started to, anyway, long story short, I decided to leave it alone, because if I played with it and liked it, I'd have to have one. And I
Another
know what that
obsession.
sucker cost. It ain't cheap.
Another obsession.
Hey,
Well,
Stuart,
in the YouTube, let me get to the YouTube chat, guys.
Do what?
In the YouTube chat, they're asking about the twister. The twister is going to be an ongoing thing. I got 2 hours in it. It's almost finished already. We got the wing done and the fuselage done. I'll be on with it probably Monday night or Tuesday. And then Montana Farmer says, hey, everyone, haven't been here in a while. What happened to Charles? Well, Charles took a vacation, and I'm running it now. And then rights are not tradition. Red truck, sleepy stickers, whatever that means. Sending like Sparky from Nunya Biz. Have a good stream. And Steve Berry says, where can I get a set of plans for a Genesis and a Caprice? And that would be Bob Hunt.
Yeah, well, the Genesis, you get them through Flying Models, Flying Models plan service online. For me, I have the Caprice plans.
All right, that's enough. I got the chat taken care of.
Quit.
What?
Yeah, I used to be into photography, Phil, and it got to where
hey, Stuart, what lens was Phil talking about?
It's a 70 to 210 zoom.
Is it whose brand?
Nikon.
It's-
Yeah.
I've had it for years. I bought it take pictures when my kids were in travel hockey.
An F mount?
Sorry.
F mount? F is in Frank mount?
Geez, you know what? I forget.
I can't remember all that stuff either.
I
I
forget.
quit.
It's a bayonet mount, whatever they call it. But
F is in Frank. And what's the aperture? Is it 1.4? You know,
yeah, I knew you were gonna ask that. I think it's the better one you could get. It was the best for
I think it was a 2.8.
2.8.
Yeah.
Does it have any mold or haze inside it? I mean, I'd be interested.
no, it's good that way. It's just an older camera too, because I think it's 8 megapixels, and then the raw was higher, but I can't remember 10.
Yeah.
So-
Auto zoom
Yep, auto zoom stabilization.
So it is F mount, okay.
Anybody see that lens that Dan Winship had at the National?
Oh, yeah.
That thing must have had a recoil.
Yeah.
It looked like it's about that long.
Yeah, I think I talked to him. I wish I would have had more time because that would have been good because he knows more about photography probably than I do. So
And most of what
While
I,
you were flying and he was taking pictures, he could make sure your line connectors were connected properly with that thing while you were flying.
Yeah.
That's a fast lens.
dog shows, horse shows and
Yeah.
weddings.
The serious photographers, they call it glass. They don't
Yeah.
call it the lens. You know, how big is the glass you're using, and the bigger it is, the price gets crazy high.
Yeah. Well, honestly, when you're
Yeah.
looking at a good camera,
Yeah.
if you want the good pictures, the better pictures, the nature photography, the deal is not Nikon, Pentax, Sony. It is the glass.
Yeah, it's the
That's what
glass.
I'm
Right.
talking about.
That lens Dan was
you
using is
buy
about
the glass.
$15,000.
You
Wow.
buy the glass, you marry the glass, you buy the camera.
Yeah.
Because lenses have gotten so darn expensive.
Yeah. So what about model airplanes?
How about him?
That sounds like a plan. Charles will be about now with that little plane of his.
No,
Yeah.
listen, I'm
Marky,
just,
have you flown that thing again yet?
which,
No,
No.
no.
Well, somebody you anyway, huh?
There is things that, like life, like I had to go shopping today.
Oh, come on. Sparky's gotta do things like pay bills and go get groceries. Good grief.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous activity, Sparky.
Wednesday
Oh, look
looks
who's
like it's
here.
gonna be the
Jonathan,
best.
how are you?
Take a breath.
Good gracious.
Hey, Jonathan.
How are you? I had trouble with my microphone and speaker. I don't know why, but anyway, I sorted that out. I haven't got much to say though. Perhaps that's what it was telling me.
Oh, you been flying?
No, maybe tomorrow. We might try and get a bit in tomorrow. It's going to be pretty windy, but there's rain on the way now overnight. But we'll see you in the morning. Looking
So
forward
you're
to it.
already it's Saturday now, aren't you?
We're
Yeah.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
One day and 10 hours ahead of you guys.
Yeah, a bunch of us are getting together and driving up to Eden in the morning, about an hour and a half.
Can you tell me who won the Formula One race yet?
The sprint race?
That's in the morning. Oh, that's right. He's a day ahead. He might know.
That was the joke. Sorry.
Isn't the word Formula One and race an oxymoron?
No, it's the race
Is it
over.
yesterday or tomorrow?
The
in
race is
New Zealand?
over when they finish.
Tomorrow.
yeah.
I stopped watching.
Marky, I think we've reached our limit of Canadians. I see Lena's just coming in. That's enough.
Lindsay, we passed our limit.
Wait a minute, there's one more that may be
So-
try to get
so-
in. If he does.
Jonathan,
Hear
did I
you.
see that,
I hear you
that the
guys.
Kiwis did some pretty good sailing here recently?
I'm sorry, what, John?
I was asking
again?
Jonathan. Did I hear the Kiwis did some pretty good on the sailing
Oh,
sailboating?
Yeah,
Kiwis always do good on
we
sailboating.
punched Dennis
Darn.
Connor in the eye about 20 years ago. We punched Dennis Connor in the eye and took the America's Cup off him. The Aussies took it off him a fair while back. Then he got it back, and then we took it off him, and we now hold it.
Wait a minute.
And they had it up in Spain, up in Barcelona, and the conditions were, they were pretty good, similar to what we get out here in the Hauraki Gulf.
They had
where
pretty
we were
low
sailing.
wind. They had low wind for a couple of days.
Yeah, it varies out here in the summertime. It can drop right away, or it can blow a gale if we've got a tropical storm coming, especially. But they did well. They did well. It's pretty high tech stuff. It's not really sailing anymore.
When did
They
it
look like those
when did it
little
change
water
where the
boats.
boats come all the way out of the water? I hadn't seen it for a few years, and I
Yeah.
caught it. I'm like, what in the
Wheels.
heck kind of spaceship is that?
They look like those little water bugs I used to watch in the canal, that scooted across the top of the water.
Yeah, yeah, lifting one leg at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, I think the boats are evolving all the time, but there's no battery power in those. There's no electricity except for the women's. They're augmented with power.
And the men are
But
cycling
the
power.
men's are all pedal up hydraulics. Sorry?
So it's all Armstrong on the winches and everything, huh?
Yep.
It's all pedal power.
Yeah.
You see a couple of them now just pedaling their guts out all the time. Yeah.
Well,
But,
the similarity between those and our model airplanes is that sail is a vertical wing.
Yep.
yes.
And correct me if I'm not wrong, they're doing 7-knot winds, they're doing 50 knots over the water in a 7-knot
Yeah.
wind.
Something like that. Incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible. Yeah, you seen the size of the foil that holds up about 7 tons of boat. It's about the size of one of our stunt model wings. Incredible. Absolutely amazing.
It weighs more though.
Yeah.
Probably a lot stronger too.
The lift per square inch must be something incredible, like about 2,000 pounds per square inch or something. I don't know. Incredible.
They're amazing.
Hey guys, let me give Lenny a shipping tracking number. Got to get a pencil,
Okay.
Len.
Yep, got it here. Go.
Lincoln House 23451 5.
Hold on. 8 house.
Lincoln.
Okay, now.
Lincoln
Yeah, I got
House,
that. I got Lincoln House. Now give me the number.
2345.
Yep.
1584
Yep.
0 US.
US. Got it.
I couldn't find you on the forum. I don't
That's
know what.
fine. That's okay. Thanks, Sparky. I got it. We're good.
It's LH 2345 15840 US.
Got it.
Okay.
Any of y'all
Thank
seen
you.
anything lately and just realized how slow USPS is? I ordered some of those rings that Dennis was telling us about from Tackle Warehouse or Tackle Wholesale or whatever. I forgot the name of the place. John Sukalak's coming in. But they supposedly got here the 29th. I hadn't got them yet. That just means they got to our local post office the 29th. Or actually, it means they got to Greensboro. But I don't have the darn things yet. I can't believe how slow the Postal Service has gotten.
Has anyone here tried the pirate ship yet?
I use it all the time.
I just got an account. It's amazing.
What's that? What is it?
I believe they've negotiated some kind of a bulk discount. You still use UPS or USPS, but you just pay way less.
They send you a label. You give them the size and weight of the box. They give you a label, but it's a lot less. Some cases, less than half what it would cost to ship normally.
And it's called what?
Pirate ship.
Pirate ship. Okay, I'll check on
It's
it.
great. I had John Hill ship all that balsa wood, 3 huge boxes of balsa wood up for me that I got from Les Demet. And if I had had it shipped by normal, normally it would have cost me over $200. It was like the whole thing was like $120 or something.
Wow.
These are huge boxes,
Cool.
Yeah. And I shipped a couple of wings out too. I shipped one to Jim Aaron and I shipped one to Tommy Fluker. And again, it was about half of what it would have cost me if I had gone straight, way less than the U.S. Post Office. I went UPS. Well, they find the cheapest way for you and they recommend it.
Have you ever seen anything but USPS or UPS come up as an option with them?
No. Mm-mm. Rick Campbell turned me onto it.
Wonder if they ship to Canada.
What's that?
Wonder
Think
if
they
they
do.
ship to Canada.
Why would I want to ship anything to Canada?
Oh, who
Walk
is?
right into that one.
Nice.
That's all.
Maybe it would be a return.
Sorry, guys.
Oh,
The
Hey,
shot was there.
Stuart.
The shot
Hey,
was there.
Stuart, you get the feeling these people don't like us or what?
No.
See you later.
We only
I think-
bust the ones we like.
Us
Funny.
Antipodeans need to stick together there, mate.
Yeah.
we rag the ones we like. We really rag the ones we really
I
like.
tell you something. When
That's
I was,
right. You betcha.
when I
That's
was
the only
still-
way.
when I was still shipping wings, you know, still building wings for people all over the world, I was able to ship wings to Japan far cheaper than I could ship them from Pennsylvania to California.
Wow. That's
Far cheaper,
amazing.
like, you know,
What's that tell
60%
you?
would have cost me to ship to California. Masaru Hiki ordered 6 wings, and it was ridiculous how cheap it was to ship them. And he got them all safe, you know. So
Wow.
Have any of you guys who are Pampa members gotten your latest stunt news?
No, I haven't gotten anything yet.
Okay,
Yes.
I got mine 2 days ago.
yeah, but you're the president.
No, it's just in a regular envelope like anyone else, and it says "Deliver to the King," just like you guys.
Right? Yeah.
No, I literally haven't gotten anything.
I know the guys are mailing them. The postal service is really, really slow.
He put a questionnaire out not even a month ago, asking people if they would rather have it via PDF sent to them via an email. And that's what I said. It saves some money. You know, let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd just be curious of the feedback when you see it. It's a much bigger issue. And
This one with Dougie's story in it.
I'm sorry?
Is this the one with Dougie's story? Not Dougie, but Jake's story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really well done. David and the others that helped, I thought did a great job. So let me know when you get it and what you think of it.
Okay.
Please.
I got some pictures from the Nats. I don't know if I showed any of you guys yet. If you want to-
Like that?
There you go.
Yeah,
Wow.
them were the days.
I lost them again.
You guys want to see the pictures?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a
Wow.
lot, but you know, I got to push share on here, don't I?
Yep.
This is different.
Those are really nice, sir.
Yeah.
I especially like the blue one.
There we go.
Anybody see the one plane that got away and went for a ride and landed in the control line field? Let me see here.
Is that Tandem stunt?
Wow, little engine, but the little engine screamed.
Oh, that's
Breezy.
that's Chuck Rudner there, wasn't it? Back a little ways.
This guy?
No, the guy back a couple. That's Chuck.
Yeah.
Not that guy. The next one, the one you just had up. That's Chuck. He's a orthopedic surgeon.
Wow.
Is for a number of Ferraris.
It's Ed Breezy, I think, in the red shirt.
Yeah, that's breathing.
Yeah.
And that was Leonardo Silva in the blue shirt there in the center. In Mexico.
Looks like you're not short of room there.
Well, wait a minute. Somebody's arms are a lot longer than the other one. One plane looks like it's 20 feet Oh, okay. Never mind. I see what it is now.
Leonardo. He's a stunt flyer too. He flies stunt.
Oh, look at here.
Daryl, is that Daryl?
Sure looks like it. Left-handed could be.
That's Skylark by the tail, looks like it.
Yeah, it's either a lark or skylark.
Well, it's Skylark, it
That's
doesn't have
smart.
the
It's a
elliptical
straight
wing.
taper. It's a Skylark.
Yeah.
No, that's not 5. Oh, wait, he's doing bottoms. It's still not 5 feet.
And he's a flap tweak too.
Yeah.
You guys,
Who's the dude in the blue shirt? Golly.
yeah.
We do the white shirt
I've
too with the
seen
white
that
hat.
before.
I know we won't talk about him.
I've
Yeah,
seen
the
that.
white guys, he's upper class, you know.
Well, the guy in the red shirt is Bob McNall.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. It's the other two we can't talk about.
Absolutely
Would
not.
you look at there? Kermit is flying.
Yep.
Cool deal. Yeah, that's him.
I haven't got it down yet.
That's Kermit.
Looks like an SV.
He was our
Pilot's focused, but the plane isn't. So I got some work to do. Improve.
That is Daryl Harvin.
Yep.
All right.
He's lost weight since I last saw him.
How many kilovolts are those pylons, those transmission lines you got near you there?
Lots. Like,
New Zealand, it gets so humid. If we fly
Bruce
close to
Jennings?
transmission lines like that, we get
Tom
fried.
Smeltzer?
Yeah, it's Tom and Bruce.
Mark Klipinski
How about that?
Yep.
and Jim Rhodes
see Jim.
and George Waters.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Saunders
John Saunders.
launching. That's Rick Campbell and Rick Cuff.
Oh, who's that?
That guy is
Who's that?
Oh, golly, who is that guy? Good gracious.
Jim Barry, you know.
Seems like I seen him on a wanted poster somewhere.
Yeah. Jimmy Renkar and
Yeah.
what's it, Lindbergh.
Mike Longkey back there.
Yeah, I saw him back there too.
Launching Frank Donnelly's airplane.
Yep. Is that the Mobest? Yeah,
That's
it
got
is.
a climb and dive timer on it.
Yep, sure did.
It's a good flying airplane.
It is. A real good flying airplane.
Designer put a lot of time and effort in that airplane.
Jerry Glear launching.
That's a trophy trainer, but it really flies well.
That's a good design, that trophy trainer.
Yeah. He flew that Wednesday, no, Tuesday when we all got together.
That heavy wind, remember that wind flight he put in? Up on the L pad?
On Paris.
Yeah.
Dave Tribble.
Dave Tribble and
Dave Treble.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Dave.
can't think what it couldn't.
Picture before that was Dan McAtee.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh, you know who that is?
Oh yeah. That's Shoemaker
Yep.
and his wife. They both fly Navy carrier. And she's dangerous for the Navy carrier. She can fly.
I was going to say, is that a mission? It's supposed to be a mission split, isn't it?
Yeah.
109.
It's a RSM ME 109.
John Saunders.
John working on his humongous.
There's Frank Donnelly there.
Yep.
East Coast buddies.
Hey, Len, was that you in the green shirt?
No.
No, seriously.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
it
I
was.
thought.
Yeah.
I get tickled on all these electric guys.
There he
wiping
goes.
planes down like they're covered in fuel or something.
There he
Wiping
goes.
planes down like they're covered in fuel or something.
There's Len.
Have to wipe the electron off, guys. Good grief.
Len and Naomi. Bob Jennings, Juno.
There
It
we go.
was not that one before.
I flew that at the last contest. That after the contest, I flew it. The flight's good.
Bruce was the first one I saw that come up
Sorry,
with it.
Bruce Jennings. Bruce Jennings.
Bruce Jennings was the first one I saw come up with an airplane like that. Really pretty airplane, and done in monocoque.
Yep.
I always thought
There it
monocoque
is.
would be too weak for those I-beam wings, but Bruce has been doing it for years and it works.
Matt Newman, Kenny Stevens.
Kenny Stevens, yeah.
Wow.
There's the fleet.
Nice lineup.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, kudos to the guys that did the appearance judging.
Ah, look who that is. Yeah.
I was one of them.
I agree.
I wonder
Kudos
where you
to
were. I
them.
wonder where you were going with that, Mark. I was going to let you dangle there for a minute.
Oh, I know those two.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I believe I've seen them before.
Superstar in here.
That's that woman I used to like. Yeah.
A nice looking lady and a nice looking airplane.
Yeah.
Who's that goofy guy though?
Yeah.
He's
You
pretty
picked him up
goofy.
there.
He's from Canada.
Told you coming here for a little fun and fellowship.
Well, if you feel like you need a whooping, just come in here.
Yeah. Boy, that's Bruce's airplane. Well, it was. And there's the one that won concours.
Which one?
It's got part of it's monocoque covered.
Only there for Jimmy Ernst.
Oh, that one.
Jimmy Aaron.
Jimby's.
That thing is so pretty, man. You just look at that thing and think, how did he do that? It's really sharp. And then Howard Rush's airplane I see is near the front again.
Yep.
Rightfully so.
Oh, he did a masterful job on it. It's beautiful.
No, that thing was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go back. Oops. It's another section of them.
Oh, what's his name? Why is it not
Vince
coming to
Bodie.
me? What's that?
Vince
Yeah,
Bodie.
Vince Bodie. Vince
Bodie.
Bodie, yes, for sure.
Yep.
He's a good guy. I like him.
You know what he does? You know what he does for a living? Well, part of what he does for a living. He's a trout fishing guide.
Which?
The what?
Trout fishing guide.
Yeah. I need to get up with him.
Is that Mike Palco?
Alco and Van Jock and Frank.
Mike Wonky.
Yep.
I'm
Mr.
Dixon.
Dixon.
Yep.
There's Dixon in the middle.
Ways hard at work.
There's the other Steve Smith.
Yeah.
And Daryl. Denny?
That's Jim Hoffman.
Yep.
These are
Yeah, because he's shorter than the grass, than the corn.
Well, that was some pretty good
I tell you what, there was some turbulence off that corner in that circle. And
I'll
on
bet.
circle 4 too.
There was
Got me
at times.
At the Worlds, I was over watching Dave Fitzgerald fly on circle 1. You know how the air comes over the end of that thing, just slams you down.
Yeah.
And he was getting hit, but he was correcting, and it almost looked dead smooth. But it's just Dave's that good a pilot. It was I told him, you got more guts than I got. I wouldn't fly on that circle today.
It
Wendy's.
looks like a
This
speedster.
was a crazy thing to watch. The first time I've seen this type of thing, and
Big.
There's Ben Jock flying, yeah.
There's the Raven.
yeah, that's one of my better pictures. It was overcast, so it wasn't as good as it could be for the photography. Haziness.
Who was the guy with the airplane trimmed like a 57 Chevy?
Oh, it's Rick Huff.
Rick Huff.
That thing was gorgeous, and it wrecked.
Yeah, he got caught at the top of an hourglass. That had vector thrust on it too.
Huh.
I flew that airplane. That's a good flying airplane.
It was so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened on that Tandem twin if I vectored the thrust on the rear engine.
Sure. Time.
Be interesting.
You know, there is a real airplane. I forgot the number of it.
That's the bear.
Our control system is vectored thrust.
Steve
Rudder,
Moon.
elevator, everything is vectored thrust. I would not want to be the test pilot to fly that thing the first time.
Yeah, what you gonna do in an engine out situation?
That's good.
Isn't a
punch out.
YF-22 vectored thrust?
Yeah,
22 still got elevators. Who is that flying? It looks like
Steve Moon.
Yeah, okay. Is that his bear or one of? No,
Yeah, it's his.
that's his. Yeah.
For Toppy of Geeskies.
Pinsky and
I keep hoping to come out with a
that's
set of
Brad.
plans.
What's Brad's last name? I forgot his last name. The guy on the right there.
Good grief.
This guy didn't look at the plans.
You're
Yeah.
right. You know, the plane that's thrown me more than any other airplane I can ever remember building. I asked Bob Barron for a set of plans to the Humbug. And he sent me a set of plans to that thing, and I looked at them, and I looked at them, and I looked at them, and it just didn't make sense to me. I couldn't figure it out.
What didn't make sense? Because I have a set of those.
I didn't build it for about 5 years, and I finally talked to Tom Dixon. He said, Philip, he draws his plans upside down. Oh, now it makes perfect sense. So I went home and built it.
Okay.
Maybe he's from Australia.
I don't know. But it looked downright strange to me. I couldn't figure. I just couldn't get it straight in my head. And it was
My
just
wife heard that.
upside down.
Hey guys, it's time for me to shut the YouTube channel down. You guys don't have to leave here. The after party will continue. But I've turned this over to Steve Smith, the real Steve Smith. Let me get to the chats that have been spaced in there. Sending likes from Nunya Biz. Have a good stream. Blah blah. Oh, so we didn't miss any chats. So I appreciate you guys out there on YouTube watching this. Let me go back to here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're not a member on Stunt Hangar, the forum, be sure to register over there using your real first and last name. So we'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
See you, Spark.
Hey, Sparky.
Okay, we're off of YouTube.
All right, I got a question for you, Sparky. Now that you're off of YouTube, you built the